Hi y'all, I'm Tracy with 3 Wick Thesis. This video is a part of my Lighting the Way series where I review a single candle, give you the cold impression, light it for a couple of hours, and then return to the video after a cut and share with you my impressions on hot and the burn quality, aesthetic, sort of those different characteristics that we use to evaluate whether or not we ourselves would like to buy a candle. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and continuing to watch my videos. I really like sharing these with you all. If you're new, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you appreciate these sorts of reviews. For today's video, I'm focusing on another one of Bath&BodyWorks neutral line candles. If you didn't catch yesterday's, I did the pistachio milk and honey. Today I'm going to focus on the white iris and cedarwood candle. Again, part of the White Barn Bath&BodyWorks neutral line. You've got the kind of green pistachio jar with the beige lid. And I did note in yesterday's video that I'm a little bit perplexed why a white iris cedarwood would have the pistachio green, while the pistachio candle, milk and honey, has what I feel like is more appropriate for a white iris candle scent. But maybe they went with the milk and honey on this one and just decided to use the pistachio green with the white iris and cedarwood. So the wax on this, just like the other neutral I reviewed, is white. You've got some ropey wicks. They're not the super thick ones, kind of medium in terms of the width of the wick. And ooh, this is already smelling really nice. Scent notes are iris petals, warm cedarwood, and fresh bergamot. So smell. You just get this really dusty quality to it. I know other reviewers have complained and said that it smells moldy or like stale. I don't know. I really like it. And it, to me, that like dusty smell that I'm getting doesn't smell moldy. Mold has this kind of like pungent, repulsive scent to it. And this feels a little bit more like the bergamot that you get in Loft. It's almost like you're sticking your nose in a dusty book, or I don't know, you snuggle with your cat and they have that kind of like dusty pancake smell. You get that, but not with like the sweetness of a cat. And then you also get the kind of Loft influence, but with more of the floral from the iris. I love this. I have no complaints. This is just a really nice, earthy, dusty, light floral. I think this is going to be really nice. I'm also excited to see how much of a thrower it is, because I've read some mixed reviews about the throw. Some people have said they can't smell it. People say that about Loft too. I think Loft is one of the strongest candles I own, and so if other people can't smell this one, it's possible that I can. So just keep in mind, there are very mixed opinions on this candle. Take mine for what it is. I am not the expert in the know-all of, what it actually smells like and which is right. This is just my insight. Yeah, I love this. I love it. All right, I'm going to go burn it for a few hours, at least once. I'll take some video of it burning, give you some insight into the quality, the throw, and I will be right back after the cut. All right, y'all, so I've been burning this for about 3 hours, and it did struggle a bit to get going. There is a little bit of an uneven wax pool you can see on this edge. That side did not even get to a full wax pool until it was probably at least 2 hours and 15 minutes in. I do still get what I feel like is the full scent, full potential, but I was surprised by how long it took to get that depth. On warm, this is a really nice candle. I do think the bergamot and the cedarwood come out a bit more, and you get the floral tone down. There is still that dusty element that reminds me a little bit of Loft, but overall I feel like this one's a little bit more musky, and also was almost overpowering in my small space. So my bedroom was 11 by 14, and after about 2 hours of having it in my bedroom, I finally moved it downstairs because I was getting overwhelmed. I will say that I am sensitive to smells, especially ones that are perfumey, cologne-y, or overly sweet, so that could just be a me thing. I'll also note that quite a few reviewers have noted that this candle is scentless. I did not have that experience. This was a very strong candle for me. People say the same thing about Loft. They say it's scentless and that it has almost no smell, and I think Loft is one of my most powerhouse candles. It's really strong to me. So whatever the undercurrent is in this candle is, to me, a very strong thrower. In my bedroom, I would assign it easily a 4 to a 4.5. So after 2 hours, I moved it downstairs where it was in my open concept area, and I would drop it down to a 4 in that space. It filled out the space, but it wasn't strong. Going forward, I think if I choose to burn this one for an extended period of time, I will make sure that I burn it only downstairs just so I don't have that overwhelming experience. When looking at this candle from the overhead view, you can see that it's a really clean burn. There's almost no soot in the wax pool, the carbon heads on the wicks are not large, and in general, the flame is kept to a pretty medium flicker. I did notice that after the 3-hour point, or right around the 3-hour point, the flame got quite large. There wasn't any sooting, it just got higher than what I would prefer. So I would probably burn this for no more than a couple of hours, and definitely not more than 3 at a time. Let's talk about the candle performance rubric for the iris and cedarwood. For scent quality, I gave it an A. It's a pleasant smell. I think it's true to the description. There wasn't anything weird or quirky in it to me. And it actually reminds me a little bit of what you smell when you walk into like an antique shop. So I understand this like vintage smell or this idea of it being an old smell or a dusty smell, but to me it's a really pleasant form of that. So I'm not offended by it. I think it's an amazing scent, and that's why I'm assigning it an A. For throw, it filled my bedroom, almost overwhelmed me. However, in my open concept, it was a little bit weaker, so I went ahead and assigned it a B just because I don't feel like it had the strength to completely fill out my open concept area. For burn quality, I went ahead and gave it a B, and that's because while the wax pool was clean and I feel like the wicks burned well without large carbon heads, it really struggled to get going. It took over 2 hours to get a full wax pool, and then I feel like once it did have a wax pool, the wicks got too hot. In terms of aesthetic design, like with some of the other neutrals I have, I'm assigning it a B. It's a pleasing design. I think it's attractive. It fills a niche if you want a really simple candle without a loud or kitschy label, then I think this is good. But because the neutral line all looks the same, just different colored jars, I assigned it a B because it lacks uniqueness. That means that on a 4-point GPA scale, this candle received a 3.25, which is a solid B. Before I close out this video, I want to just highlight that there is a connection to this candle and the You Musk Fine Fragrance Mist. People have said that these are the same scent notes and that they're basically the exact same scent. I agree they are very similar, but I do not see them as the same scent. I feel like the candle with scent notes of iris petals, cedarwood, and bergamot is a much more dusty scent. It's more earthy, whereas the You Musk spray is iris, pink pepper, and airy musk is musky, but it also has this brightness or like a high note that's probably coming from the pink pepper, and also just the straight iris note, which is more floral than the iris petals, which tend to be more dusty. And it makes me think of like decaying or aging flower petals. They're very similar, and if you like You Musk, you will definitely like this candle, but I would not say that they're exactly the same. In terms of whether or not this is a recommended or repurchase, I would recommend this candle, especially if you like the fine fragrance mist of You Musk. I would probably not repurchase this. I enjoy it, but because it overwhelmed me in my smaller space, and I just don't like to have to remember where candles should or should not be burned to keep me from experiencing that, I probably will not repurchase this. I do own the fine fragrance mist, so if I want to have something similar, I will just spray that on my clothes, and I feel like it would be less overwhelming for me and allow me to burn something else in the house. I will say that if I were to see it at SAS for 75% off, I would definitely pick it up, but otherwise I just don't think, I don't see myself buying this again. And that wraps up this Light the Way review. I hope you appreciated my insights. If you have this candle and have any thoughts, please leave me a comment below. Have a good night, everyone.